Hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Braden Herrington here with Davie Portman for UpNXT, postwrestling.com, iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, right?
YouTube.
YouTube. We're live on our YouTube. We go live after NXT at 10:30 on our YouTube, which is
BDE official.
Yeah, so shout out all the people in the YouTube chat room. This is just a little bonus thing we do. We said we might as well, go live on YouTube while we record this show. So we do that. But you can also find us on patreon.com/upnext. Shout out to all our supporters on there. We have some crazy stuff coming out. It's been a crazy week for us. We've been getting a lot of messages, maybe a lot of new ears, because NXT has taken over.
Yeah. How many messages have you had this week being like, yo, why haven't you done a show about SmackDown?
Yes, I know.
Why haven't you done a show about Raw?
It was like, we didn't know this was going to happen.
It's like,
so
sorry.
we would have. We were so down to.
Yeah.
But we had things.
Unfortunately, we have jobs as well.
Yeah. So that's what we're here to talk about.
Yeah.
I guess we will get into that. Which NXT's been everywhere. Survivor Series adds NXT, and now there's all this. Everything's NXT.
It does kind of make me laugh because every year, I think they've done it, 3 or 4 years now, the Raw versus SmackDown thing.
Yeah.
And there's been zero stakes, and everyone's like, what is the point? Why are they doing this? Bragging rights. Nothing's going to come of it.
Of course.
And then NXT joins in, and still, what are the stakes?
NXT joins.
There are none, but everyone's like, yeah, that's sick. That's good.
Exactly. It's like they doing a whole takeover angle in their own company.
Yeah.
It's pretty
essentially,
fun. Yeah. And they did that before. And, some people said it didn't really work out the last time there was an invasion angle. But what about then? It's like Nexus, right?
It is, yeah.
It's cool. So NXT, showed up on SmackDown because all the wrestlers were stuck in Saudi Arabia. I don't know why, but they were.
And I feel we may never really truly know what went down in Saudi Arabia. I'm waiting for Ben Affleck to direct the film.
Yes.
About it.
About getting them back.
About getting them back from Saudi Arabia. What a wild. I think this is going to go down in history this week. We all know about the plane ride from hell all those years ago.
Wow.
And I feel this is going to be in
the dark side of the ring.
It's gonna go down as legend.
Yeah.
This Vince McMahon abandoning his troops.
Very strange. Even in Titanic, the captain goes down with the ship.
The captain went down with the ship.
That's how it goes. That's very shady. Vince McMahon. Oh boy, interesting times.
And I love this press release they put out, which said what we already knew. They're like, we're now doing 2 shows a year until 2027. It's like, hang on, weren't you doing 2 shows a year until 2027 anyway?
Oh boy.
Very weird. We're not here to talk about the Saudis.
We watched the Saudi show and we did a Patreon show for it.
Yeah,
we did. So that was cool.
I thought it was actually a pretty decent show, but compared to the other ones, I thought there were some good things.
Brock Lesnar, Cain Velasquez, best match ever.
Best match ever, yeah. And talking of best match ever, we will be recording tomorrow.
Wow, segue.
A brand new episode.
Yeah, we do this show. Yeah, we do this show on our Patreon once in a while called Best Match Ever, where we pick the best matches ever in wrestling. Now, we started this doing the Hell in a Cell. We did the best Hell in a Cell ever. What was the last one we did was the Rock Austin WrestleMania trilogy. And we thought, let's get away from NXT. Let's get away from WWE. Let's just go to Japan.
Yeah.
And what some say is the best match ever. Kenta Kobashi versus Mitsuharu Misawa.
Yeah, which
legends in
you say about Rock v Austin, but this is kind of the Rock v Austin of Japan.
It is.
The 2 pillars of Japanese wrestling in the 90s, and this is their final match, their final singles match against each other.
Now, this match goes back to 2003.
Yeah.
But even then, there was still tape trading. The internet was around, but tape trading, buying DVDs was all hot. And this is one of the best ones. Now, a lot of wrestling fans love this match. Now, even if you don't want to join our Patreon to hear us talk about it, because that's what we're going to do, and go watch this match. Yeah. It's all over the internet, on YouTube even.
To be honest,
go check it
watch any match between these 2 guys.
Kenta Kobashi is one of the guys that made me love wrestling, definitely. So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to dissect Kenta Kobashi and Misawa. We're going to do that for best match ever coming out on our Patreon this week, which is awesome, because then this is why I love our Patreon. We can do whatever we want. There's a new Terminator movie out. bringing back the old cast in this new one. Didn't do too well.
They're doing the kind of thing that Halloween did with their latest film. It's like, forget everything since T2.
Yep.
This is the third Terminator movie.
Well, so what are we doing? Well, we're watching the OG, the Terminator from 1984, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
We've dived into 1984 a couple of times.
Yeah, we did Nightmare on Elm Street 2 weeks ago.
And I feel like we might have had another one from that time.
1984 was a good year, apparently.
Good year. Yeah, George Orwell knew what he was writing about.
Yeah, I guess so.
Was it George Orwell?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think so.
So the Terminator review, I just watched it for this review. I remember this movie. This movie's great. But it means that one day we can review T2. And I know more people want us to hear that probably. The original, because, people like that movie. So we're just doing whatever we want for our Patreon.
Yeah.
It's really cool. It's awesome.
We'll have an episode of upNXT Extra tomorrow, where we'll be talking about AEW from tonight.
You can hear us. This show, Up Next, will always be free wherever you get your podcast. But if you join our Patreon, you can get us doing a Thursday show where we talk about AEW and NXT, kind of doing the Wednesday night clash there, which has been a really fun show. I love doing. That's always every Thursday for our Patrons. And then you get all the other extra shows. And if you join now, because it's kind of still the beginning of the month, you still get to go back and listen to everything we've ever posted.
Yeah, so sign up to our North American tier for $5, and you'll get probably around, by the end of the week, around like 25, 26 shows. So crazy. All for $5. Yeah. So worth signing up. But on our free feed, I will be joined this weekend by John Cena, who's lurking in the YouTube channel right now.
Post Wrestling Law fan all the way back.
Yep. And great Jesse guy from the 6, because there's a lot of wrestling on this weekend.
Yes.
We have Full Gear, AEW.
Full Gear.
We have the San Jose New Japan show.
Right, yeah.
But we are the NXT guys. Mm-hmm. We are your NXT friends. Friends. So we're looking at kind of NXT's feeder company, Evolve.
Yes.
So John Cena is actually going to be at Evolve 139 on Saturday. So he's going to be giving a little rundown on that. And then I will be joined by Jesse from the 6 Sunday evening to talk about Evolve 140.
Awesome. So we have so many shows again on our free feed, on our Patreon, but go check us out. Help support us if you like us. And if you're we got a lot of new listeners now because NXT people. Welcome to Up Next, because this is what we do. So before we get into some NXT chat, David, spooky season. It's officially over.
It's officially over.
You're so happy because I've been saying spooky season and listening to spooky music.
It's now what, Christmas season?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is it cuffing season?
Yeah, I think it's always cuffing season for you, right?
No. It's never cuffing season.
Okay.
No, never. It's Thoughtum.
Okay. Jeez.
So we had a Halloween party. No, sorry. A Halloween
gathering.
A gathering.
And I think it was a gathering.
Yes, we were adults.
We behaved.
We were adults.
Yeah.
So we had a crazy Halloween party last year. Things got a little way out of hand. So this year we said is a Halloween gathering. We invited way less people, including interesting characters that showed up last year that we shall not be named and will not be brought up on this show. And this year we made guidelines. We said no one shall order in drugs. No one shall hook up in our bathroom. No
extracurricular activities in the bathroom.
Yeah, no one getting around with other people's persons in the bathrooms. And no fighting.
And no, what was it called? The Johnny Fallover? The
punch.
The punch.
Yeah, we did the punch. So we did the gathering. We did our house up really nice, really quickly. We got like hanging.
We got like the last 3 items from Dollarama that were available.
We made the Braden Davie estate look pimp.
And I thought it looked pretty good for a quick 10-minute job.
You put up a Chromecast in the kitchen. You did a pumpkin. We had everything. We had Kyrie in the doorway. We left our door wide open and we put Kyrie in the doorway. So when people came down, they thought it was a person. And I got so many people. I was like, this is gonna be a great idea. I was like Kevin McAllister.
We'd be in like the back room and wouldn't necessarily know people have come, and then we'd hear the scream and say, "Oh, Taylor's here." Okay.
And she's like, Kyrie, because she knows who she is. So we had people over, and it was a blast. And then we went to a nearby bar, Clinton's, and it was packed. And
it was really packed.
We got a little Liddy. We got spooky seasoned out. I was a sloth. I was in a sloth onesie for Halloween. What were you?
What was I? Oh, I was a dead jock. So my girlfriend and I were like a high school jock and cheerleader, but did all like...
Your makeup was awesome.
Yeah, did pretty cool makeup. The pictures are on my Instagram. Check it out at Davie Portman.
Yes, we have pictures from there. And I was in a sloth. My other buddy Cameron was in a Sharks onesie as well. So we were just the onesie pals. It was great. I enjoy Halloween so much.
Yeah, he was his favorite horror film, Jaws.
Yeah, well, then what would I was wearing shades, and I felt like Orange Cassidy should have been a sloth because I was walking around acting. I was doing the Orange Cassidy thumbs up. I was acting like a sloth the whole time because that's what I am in reality. But then, so that was Halloween, and like I had to recover the next day. But then I had to go to another Halloween party.
Oh, damn.
Now, is throwing a Halloween party on November 1st like still allowed? Because this is what I went to.
Now, I feel Halloween fell on a Thursday this year.
Yeah.
So I feel Halloween should be the Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Like that should be the days people
cool.
The weekend closest to.
Yeah.
People were celebrating like the Friday the week before. And I was like, come on, that's too early.
Yeah, I didn't
it's just been Thanksgiving, hasn't it?
Yeah.
By that time, yeah.
Yeah.
Too early.
So well, I went to another party on November 1st. It was like another house party. This one was not a gathering. This one was a party. And at around like 12:30, like after midnight, the power went out.
Okay.
In the whole area. So it wasn't just our house. It was like everything. But I'm like, this is how scary movies start. You're at a party, everyone's in a costume, and power's out. So quickly, everyone started using their flashlights. We had a Bluetooth speaker, so we connected that, and I started DJing off a Bluetooth speaker with my phone because I still had juice on it. Everyone was lighting candles. It was really cute, really awesome. But you see, our rules should have been applied to this party because you know you introduce people in cute costumes to alcohol and other degeneracy, and then you turn the power out. You know, people will do things in bathrooms and people's beds. And then there was a huge argument because the owner of said bed. It was a whole kerfuffle. So I don't know. Is it weird if someone else were to use your bed? It's interesting. It's terrible. I don't like that at all.
To be honest, I don't have too much of a problem with
it. As long as
you're opening up your house. Like I'm always like, I put away things that like are valuable or can break. You're having a load of people into your place with alcohol. Shit's gonna happen.
Of course,
you've got to be prepared for that. If something breaks, you can't be too mad because
I think guys maybe are cooler with people using their bed.
Just wash it.
Yeah, just make sure you wash your sheets.
So I didn't feel hungover at all on Friday this year. Unlike last year where I died, but I prepared myself this time and booked work off.
Whoa.
And then I'm reading all this Saudi Arabia stuff, and I'm saying to myself, this is in Buffalo. When is WWE the best? And it's when their back's up against the wall.
Right.
Like, when is WWE the best? Maybe when they don't have a roster. So I was looking into Greyhounds, megabuses, and was strongly considering going to Buffalo because it's only megabuses, 2 hours away.
Yeah, you're like, hey, we can make this bus if we go to SmackDown now. And you almost convinced me, but I did have to go to this party, and I was like, I don't think I could take it. I was hurt. From Halloween, so I was in this full sloth, and I said, I don't want to do it. And boy, did we regret it because it was an NXT takeover.
I know, it was NXT in Buffalo.
Yeah, crazy.
So should we talk a little bit about SmackDown, I guess?
Yeah, go for it. I mean, I watched it back, and I really enjoyed it. I like how it was a whole takeover thing. Triple H and Shawn Michaels were there. It was cool. It was really interesting. And Daniel Bryan versus Adam Cole, baby.
Great match of the week, I think.
It was crazy. I really enjoyed that match more so than when NXT invaded Raw. And it was Adam Cole versus Seth. That one felt a little bit more forced.
Now I'm going to be maybe slightly critical here.
Okay.
I thought it was fantastic NXT's on SmackDown. I thought it was such a pleasant surprise. However, they made it sound like it was an invasion, and I wasn't getting that Nexus vibe. I wasn't getting that like ECW joining WCW to attack WWE.
Sure, it's more Survivor Series thing.
It was like the Shayna thing was the only like actual attack on the show.
Yeah.
The rest was people like man to man challenging.
Because that's NXT.
And then NXT is standing tall, but they keep on talking about since they fired the first shot, and it didn't even that SmackDown thing the other year. Remember when Shane and SmackDown just like attacked Raw?
Sure.
It didn't quite feel like that to me. But that being said, I still think it's really cool seeing all these guys on SmackDown, seeing Adam Cole versus Daniel Bryan, a match
crazy.
I really wasn't prepared to be seeing this week.
Because if you said, hey, do you want to go to SmackDown tonight, and knowing that was the main event, I'd probably be like, yeah,
let's do it.
Maybe, yeah.
And I think what's so cool, and I like that they're doing these matches across SmackDown, Raw, NXT. They're not just waiting for Survivor Series. I feel like we're going to have a few weeks of just kind of these sort of dream matches, which you kind of you keep thinking, oh, we'll eventually get Daniel Bryan, Adam Cole, maybe when Adam Cole moves up in 2 years or whatever. But we're seeing it now.
This whole thing is cool because NXT was announced it's going to be part of Survivor Series, and then the Saudi thing happened. It was a perfect slot. It made perfect sense to have them do that on SmackDown, and it was awesome. The Raw one was really cool as well. As when Undisputed Era walked out, you could see the joy in every single member of Undisputed Era's face. Because they're like, this is my Raw, technically their Raw debut. They're walking out here. I thought that was really cool. I didn't so much like Adam Cole versus Seth Rollins that much. I don't know, Seth Rollins I'm a little cold on right now. It just felt like really,
and the crowd just wasn't.
Yeah, what a terrible place to be at for that. It would have been it would have came across so much hotter if it was at a higher
I don't know if it's if it's actually the building, because I have a friend who was at that show.
Yeah.
And she said it was like really loud because I like sent her a text being like,
wake up.
Yeah, yo, could you not been a bit more excited? That was like not a bad Raw.
Wow.
And she's like, what are you talking about? We were crazy loud. It's like, okay. It just seemed like a typical Long Island crowd.
Too many Long Island iced teas.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, I thought it was really cool. And I like this whole NXT being part of it. And it's brought so much more light, so much more eyes to the product before. Because still more WWE fans are casual and watch the main roster stuff. So it's good to bring in the attention. They're like, whoa, these characters look interesting. And they're beating up these people. Whoa. And then earlier you just mentioned the two words dream match. Well, Survivor Series has a dream match for me anyways.
It's got multiple for me.
So you have the triple threat tag team champions match, which is the Revival from SmackDown, the War Raiders, the Viking Raiders from Raw tag team champions, and the NXT tag team champions, Undisputed Era.
I mean, these are three of the like best. NXT tag champs they've been.
Yes.
Which is very cool.
And it's all three of them fighting in a three-way tag match. This is the match I'm like, okay, maybe I take work off and come watch.
Well, I mean, there is a chance that the post-show, there might be a little upNXT invasion.
We should. We should invade John Way.
Shall we fire our shot?
Yeah.
We know where they live.
Yeah. We know. What do we do? Like egg their ass?
Kick the door down and...
You know what you do? You wait till John's son is on nap time. And then you ring the doorbell and then you run away. First shot. Don't mess with us. We're up next. We'll talk to John away because that could be a lot of fun. Survivor Series, cross brands, NXT invading.
Yeah, that should be fun.
The rest of the Survivor Series already looks crazy. Brock and Rey is not part of NXT, but man, I'm interested.
I'm really enjoying that.
I was a big fan of Rey Mysterio and Brock when they were back on SmackDown back in the day, and now seeing them here, I think this is a big match field.
Ray just feels so rejuvenated, and
he's a pop culture icon again. So like even non-fans are like, wait, this is a match?
And I love seeing Brock motivated. He's like Orton for me. Yeah. You can tell there's suddenly with Orton there'll be a glimmer in his eye when he's like, oh, he likes this pairing and he's hungry for this, and then he'll phone it in for the rest of the year. But Brock seems pretty invested in this feud, and it's always so much better for me, a big guy versus a little guy, and you can't get a better little guy than Rey Mysterio.
The biggest little guy.
Yeah,
he's the best.
So I'm really high for this Survivor Series card. I'm
triple threat women's champions match. The man Becky Lynch versus Bayley versus Shayna Baszler from NXT. And I loved Shayna and Becky on Raw. I thought Shayna looked the best in a promo she's ever looked because everything she said was like purposely said.
Yeah,
I'm not Ronda Rousey. Very good. So, Shayna and Ronda are friends and go way back in their MMA days. And Becky's the one who pinned or kind of pinned Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania. So it's like a whole interesting thing. And then there's Bayley.
Karen.
She's Karen. She her new haircut looks like she wants to speak to your manager. Yeah. Got it. All right. Yeah. So this Survivor Series looks crazy. And not even that, but the night before is War Games.
Yeah,
which is
I said to you as we were watching the show tonight, so everything's gearing up for Wrestle Kingdom.
Yes.
First time ever, Wrestle Kingdom is a 2-night event on the 4th and the 5th in the Tokyo Dome.
Oh my goodness.
And this kind of feels like that. We've had the weekenders for a long time now with NXT and then Survivor Series, but it kind of feels like part 1, part 2 with your NXT talent across both shows.
Definitely. To just cut you off and pause for 2 seconds, I'm so upset we're not going to Wrestle Kingdom because Hiromu versus Ospreay.
Yeah.
Oh, baby. Hiromu's taking it.
Yeah.
He's taking it. He's got to prove, but that match is main event worthy.
The shows look fantastic.
We keep
gutted.
We keep looking at flights.
I know. We keep looking at our potential Patreon money and flights, and it's like, we can have a layover in Shanghai, and then
that's what I did before. Yeah. I did Australia. I did a layover to Aussie, and then I hung out in Aussie, and then I did a layover there again. And then
the thing is, we're idiots, so we'll get there and then be like, "Fuck, we've thought about the flights, we've thought about accommodation, but." Well, we still need money for everything.
Still need to buy all these strong zeros.
Yeah,
because I've never introduced you to strong zero
next year.
Next year.
Next, like 2021.
We'll get a GoFundMe.
Yeah, we just won't withdraw anything until then.
Just live. No, I gotta take you to Roppongi. You might not come back. So yeah, I want to go to Chicago to see our pal Scrump over there. I know he's gonna be going to these War Games Survivor Series. Of course,
yeah.
Chicago's getting this crazy weekend. So War Games and Survivor Series coming up, and this episode of NXT is definitely highlighting both of those shows. It's making you want to watch and
absolutely
both of those events, right? Because there's some new match announcements for the War Games that we'll get into when we review tonight's episode of NXT, and this is NXT from November 6th, 2019. Let's get into it. Now, the OC, the AJ Styles, Luke Gallows, and Carl Anderson, right before NXT goes on the air, they attack Undisputed Era backstage. They beat up Bobby Fish so bad that there's blood being sprayed out of his mouth.
It looked
dumpster.
It looked like he had like ketchup in his hand.
Yeah.
And when he had his head slammed against the truck, he just like splattered it across. But it looked pretty cool.
And then he got like powerbomb through a table.
Yeah, he took some bumps.
Yeah, poor Bobby. So that was all right before the thing went on the air. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. The shot here was Undisputed Era coming down this like hallway, but the back of it was still like outside, kind of.
It's still the parking lot.
It's still the parking lot. Okay, cool. Yeah. So we're all on the same page of that. This still technically is the back end part of the parking lot.
Yes.
And that we all know that the NXT Full Sail parking lot is the most dangerous place
on Earth.
Yeah. Kayfabe.
I thought the decision to have this before the show was great.
Yeah.
I think if you're trying to grab viewers who are maybe thinking, am I checking out the go home show of AEW or do I want to watch NXT? I think the number this week could be really interesting because NXT's had a lot of buzz, a lot of exposure, and being okay. Raw guys are gonna. We know it now. Raw guys are gonna be on NXT. Will we see any more? And I think might have got a bit more interest this week.
Well, we had USA like playing like before 8:00. You had just had it on, and it was like whatever show they air, some lawyer show. And we're cooking. Oh, we didn't talk about what we cooked either in our NXT cooking thing. So far, we did the Drew Goulash. We did the last week. We did some like chili, and we couldn't think of a name. And someone tweeted us saying that we missed the mark not calling it Gargano versus Almas and chili.
Yeah,
which is fantastic. So this week we just decided to cook some chicken. And what did you decide?
Well, it had a Spanishy vibe. We had some hot peppers in there, some tomatoes, some garlic, some onions.
Yeah.
So instead of Spanish chicken, how about the Spanish fly chicken?
Yes, the Spanish fly chicken in our Wednesday night meals. We decided we're roommates. We have to sit here and watch NXT. We could easily just order pizza, but that's kind of not our style.
I think last week the Gargano v Almas and chili. Ended up the next day becoming the Canadian Destroyer because you are not good.
Low blow. Foreign object. Yeah, it was hot.
Yeah, it was spicy, right?
It was hot. Let's just leave it at that. There was Gargano escape from the chili. So let's talk about the OC. So when we were still like cooking, we were just about to serve up our food. The USA was still airing that show, but then during their break, I hear Mauro Ranallo's voice, so I quickly run down to the screen, and then they show the clip of the OC attacking Undisputed Era, and they're like, "This is the OC is starting off the show. Tune in at 8." I'm like, "Whoa, that's crazy!" Like they just added that into USA, and then I quickly went on Twitter, and of course WWE's promoting this. So what a great way to get eyes quickly watching, because AJ Styles for the first time ever in NXT.
I thought having the OC being on NXT was such a good move, because most of the roster now, apart from like your older guys, your Randy Ortons, your John Cena's,
they're from NXT.
They're all from NXT at some point. And that's one of the things I've always had a problem with the Raw versus SmackDown is, why are you so loyal to that brand? You got drafted there a week ago.
Yeah, like
and now you're like attacking everyone and being like, "Oh, I just fucking love SmackDown."
Yeah.
Whereas these are only main roster guys. They've only been Raw, they've only been SmackDown, never stepped foot in Full Sail. And just AJ Styles, one of the best in the world.
Yes.
Being in Full Sail, pretty cool.
So NXT, when there was a bunch of New Japan theft from WWE those years ago, they stole the Good Brothers, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, AJ Styles, and Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yes.
The Good Brothers and AJ went to the main roster.
Luke Gallows didn't need any of that.
But Nakamura went to NXT? Come on, man. So it's just interesting that, AJ Styles did not need NXT.
Yeah.
He didn't quite say that tonight. I was waiting for him to say that. I thought he should have. Maybe that would have been mean. I don't know. What do you think? He kind of didn't say it.
He's a heel. I think he could have.
Yeah, I think so. I was waiting for him to say it. He made that remark. Like, he says this. So AJ Styles and the OC start off the show here tonight. And AJ grabs the microphone. They're looking badass with they're in their street clothes because they're just in their clothes. AJ says, "Well, this is NXT. You see, Undisputed Era tried to take over Raw, and they wanted a war. But you see, we've come here, and we've taken out everyone because, look, all of your champions here in NXT are out of commission, so it looks like we're taking over. That's not phenomenal. That's undisputed." Now, I didn't quite get the, but it's still AJ Styles in NXT. It's badass. And someone's music hits, and it's "No One Will Survive." Tomasso Ciampa comes out. There's a "Daddy's Home" chant, which is my new favorite chant in all of wrestling for personal reasons. Ciampa says, "For years, I hear." Ciampa in grabs the microphone and he says, "For years, every time I've been wrestling here in NXT, everyone asks me, when are you gonna move up to the main roster? Well, Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson, AJ Styles, allow me to welcome you to the main roster."
Great line.
Yeah, fantastic. Instantly makes, and Full Sail loves it. Full Sail's hot tonight, by the way. Good job, guys. You guys help make the show. Yeah. Like, you're there every week. You need to be hot.
What I love is this line. Like, Ciampa's a baby face now.
Yeah.
But his character is still kind of the same, but more a kind of Stone Cold sort of edge to it, like a Stone Cold baby face. Because he always used to say, like, "I am the champion."
Yeah.
Like the WWE, the Universal. No. This, as long as I hold the championship, it is the championship.
Right.
And calling NXT the main roster, same kind of thing.
Yeah, he says NXT happens to be Daddy's home. And then the crowd chants it again. Love it. He says, Y'all can whip Undisputed Era's ass. That doesn't bother me. In fact, I don't mind. Because he's kind of going to war with them at the moment, which makes sense in the character. He says, "But y'all want to stand in my ring and take over? Well, boys, I have a problem with that." AJ says that, "Are the three of us supposed to be worried about you? You're the only one with the big balls to say anything, but it looks like we got plenty of balls," says Tomasso Ciampa, as Matt Riddle and Keith Lee come out. "Bask in his glory, bro." Ciampa says, "Hey, put your gear on and we'll go to war with you." AJ Styles says, "You're on." So they brought their gear, because I bet they all live in Florida, don't they?
I feel like that's maybe why we had these guys. I'm pretty sure they all
I will say,
probably live on Orlando.
I have been following AJ Styles in TNA since he's been there, and it's cool because he's like the Florida guy.
Yeah.
I was at his Royal Rumble debut at the Rumble in Florida, in Tampa, or in Orlando, and like they went crazy because he's Florida, like he's the guy there in Impact, and to see him finally come to Full Sail, which has been Florida wrestling for quite a while now, it's just cool. It's just really cool to see him there. Love me some AJ Styles, and also AJ Styles in NXT equals kind of maybe a different style. So I'm like, okay, there's gonna be some fun stuff to see later tonight.
Absolutely.
Our first match of the night, though, is Pete Dunne versus Damien Priest, a rematch from a little while ago where Damien Priest got the low blow on Pete Dunne and then pinned him when the ref didn't see you. So he's got the one up on Pete Dunne. So he's looking for some retaliation. Morrow calls Damien Priest like a tuxofoliate or some weird word I did not understand. So
yeah.
Sometimes I love Morrow. I think he's actually the best, but sometimes he says words I'm like, okay, I gotta look that up.
What I love with Morrow is like during the show, we're pretty active on Twitter. We're seeing what's going on.
Yeah.
And he'll be on our screen and a tweet will come up as he's making these ridiculous calls.
And it's not like these predetermined tweets.
It's like what's opinions. Happening.
Yeah.
But it's pretty much as it's like not even in the commercial break sometimes.
He's litty.
He's awesome.
Yeah, he's the best.
And people say men can't multitask. There we go.
I sure as hell can.
No, I
know. The match here, Pete Dunne, Damien Priest. It starts off. Priest goes for the reckoning really early on, but Dunne fights out of it. They're showing that both guys now know each other's moves since fighting the last time. And then we cut to commercial early. During the commercial, Pete Dunne is working on the arms, and Pete Dunne is already trying to
break your fingers.
Pete Dunne is going to try to break his fingers. We come back from commercial break, and as I joked to you, I said he was already breaking his fingers during commercial. Well, he does it again. He stomps on the ring, the fingers even more, stomps against the fingers against the ring post here. He goes to powerbomb Priest, but Priest grabs the ring tag rope that is there sometimes to hold on and then blocks it, and then hits a flatliner, kind of complete shot on Pete Dunne. There's like a striking fest. And then they cut to another commercial, and while there's like they're brawling like Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn style, they're like fighting, doing different strikes. The commercial on my screen was for cheese, and it was using that Enya song, "Who Can Say?" And then I'm watching two guys fight. I'm like, this is really fucking weird, but I was for it. So we come back, and there's a Falcon Arrow from Priest for a 2. There's what is the X-Plex by Dunne. There's a moonsault backflip counter and German suplexes. There's moonsaults to the outside from Dunne. Looked awesome. He goes for the backflip again, but again gets a choke slam on the apron.
Yeah, he did his like the Daniel Bryan, the flip over the head,
he did it a bunch,
but off the ring steps on the outside, which looked pretty cool.
But then gets choke slammed onto the apron.
The hardest part of the ring.
Hardest part. They go back into the ring. He fights back. He hits a huge sit-out powerbomb. This looked awesome. He dumps him here. Just looked great. There's a double stomp to the fingers because he's trying to break them fingers. There's clotheslines. There's inside out. There's backflips attempt. There's a razor's edge from Priest for a 2 count. There he goes for like the arrow taunt, but Pete grabs his fingers again, and there's the callback to their last match with the finish when he gets thrown into the ref. Priest goes for the low blow yet again, but Dunne already scouted it, grabs him, and low blows Damien, hits him with the like an arm bar here, locks it in, extends the arm, grabs onto the fingers, and what does he do? He breaks him, and Damien Priest taps out, and Pete Dunne finally gets his retribution here.
This was a fun match.
Yeah,
I liked it a lot.
Crazy. This was like a slugfest here. I liked it.
I did think Priest just looked dumb doing the arrow thing and getting caught like that. And also,
we make fun of it at home now. We do it to each other. We're like arrows. Where are we, Jeremy?
I'd love there to be a vignette one day of him actually doing archery, and he's just
does he even do it? Yeah.
But yeah, a bit dumb from him getting caught with the fingers, but also like. Why would you not just punch him in the face?
Yeah.
He's got one hand and the other hand's just he's got my fingers.
His
just
poke
him in the eye.
Hurt. His fingers are already so hurt. And
fair enough. Okay.
And then he broke his finger.
No, pretty good match here. I think these two are pretty good chemistry
I really liked this actually. This was like rough around the edges, but in a cool way. I liked it. It was a slugfest. I really liked it. And after the match, I literally said, "Where?" And then Dane attacked. Yeah. I didn't even finish, but where? And Dane attacks Pete Dunne. Priest gets involved. He's like, "No, I want to beat up Pete Dunne." So then Dane starts beating him. He headbutts him. Then he like throws him into the steps. They're brawling on the outside. He does the cannonball into the steps onto Damien Priest. So Dane.
What I really liked here is if you just watched Priest, he was selling the broken fingers the whole time. When he was like kind of unconscious against the steps, he was still like, because his fingers are broken.
They're broken.
And there isn't that attention to detail enough in wrestling, I feel.
NXT always good at attention to detail.
I think so.
Right? Yeah. I'll break your fingers. Well, he did it. So we'll see what happens with Dane, Dunne, and Priest. That could be like a three-way or something going on down the line. We see Dakota Kai. She's backstage. She's being interviewed about her match tonight against Shayna Baszler. And if she puts on a good showing, she could potentially be put into the War Games match on Team Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, so what I quite like is they're using their extra shows. They've got The Bump, which is like a morning TV program.
Right.
And they're actually using it to further storylines. Yeah. So it was announced a few days ago that Rhea Ripley and Shayna Baszler are team captains.
Yes.
And Shayna basically made comments on The Bump this morning that Dakota Kai is like a wasted pick. Why would you pick Dakota Kai? Like, I've beaten her a bunch. She used to be a wimp and scared of me. So Kai is saying here, like, yeah, no, I admit I was intimidated by Shayna and I let her get to me. But since my injury, no, I'm back. I don't care. I need that place. Like, I deserve it.
Yeah, that storyline has been going on quite a while. If you've been following NXT, the Dakota Kai before the injury with Shayna Baszler. So it's cool that this is happening here tonight.
Yeah, they never let loose ends just like, they don't like rewrite history all the time. Everything's continuous, which I like.
Our next match is Taynara going up against the debuting Santana Garrett.
Yeah.
NXT. Yeah, this is pretty cool. We know she signed a little while ago, but this is the first time we get to see her here in Full Sail in NXT. And Taynara, who I'm a big fan of.
We're all a big fan of Taynara.
Who isn't? Who isn't? Honestly, who isn't? What's her slogan? Latinas do it best. And she hasn't done this for a while, but are you crazy? She dropped that.
Yeah, I hope that comes back.
Yeah, it's gonna come back. So this match starts off.
I mean, that's a T-shirt right there. Are you crazy?
Yeah. Should we sell it?
Yeah.
Let's get on it. Let's beat it. Beat it to the punch. Then we'll get another cease and assist from the WWE. So there's a knuckle lock to start this. Taynara keeps going for this really cool, actually looking pretzel hold. I like the fact that if this girl Taynara, she's actually like a judo, like she can fuck you up.
Yeah,
so I need to see more of that, and this is kind of what they're aiming to show us here. She's putting in like this like pretzel hold is what they call it. But then Garrett fights back, hits a series of arm drags.
Just beautiful looking side Russian leg sweep from Santana Garrett.
The best move in the world.
Best move ever, and just like delivered with perfection right here.
The best move in the world is not the side Russian leg sweep.
It really is.
What's the difference between a side Russian leg sweep and a Russian leg sweep? What's just a Russian leg sweep? Because that's a side Russian leg sweep. Oh, baby. Someone let me know. What's the difference there? Because they always say it's a side Russian leg sweep.
Yeah.
So what's just the normal?
A Russian leg sweep.
Just when you sweep the leg. Sweep the leg. Well, there is a beautiful side Russian leg sweep from Santana Garrett, and then you did the
I was just
sound with your lips
beautiful.
When you do the Ciao. So there's but Taynara fights back instantly and hits an overhead belly to belly, throwing her. It looked awesome. She then hits like a knee trigger kind of thing. Then keeps kicking her arm over and over again. She then does a series of judo throws, but judo with like the arm too, like dragging her, throwing her. It looks really awesome. Judo throw. There's a crazy transition where she locks in a Rings of Saturn. I thought this was going to be the end here. I was like, oh, is this her new move?
Yeah, and which was cool. We haven't seen her really lock in a submission. Yeah. She didn't quite lock it fully, and the commentators did bring that up, but then they continued with that because Santana Garrett managed to slip out and try to roll her up for a 1 count.
Yeah, she gets out of that, but then Garrett does like a cartwheel into backflips into like a back elbow, and then goes for like handsprings up into a forearm, but only a 2 count. She then goes for like a handspring moonsault, but Taynara moves out of the way, then hits a super kick, and then hits this sort of like Brazilian kick. I don't even know what they called it. Like a.
It was like the bro kick, but to the opponents on their knees.
Yeah.
It looked really cool.
Yeah, and Taynara pins Santana Garrett. Finally, Taynara getting some wins here.
Getting some W's.
Yeah, I will say that like Taynara is still green compared to some of the other.
For sure.
But I will say that every time I've seen her now, she gets better and better. So I dig it. Yeah.
I think the personality and the looks are there.
She looks like a star. Yeah,
she does, and it was nice. She brought a much more aggressive side to her this time, which she needs. As you said, she's a Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Like she should have this aggression, and I think we need to see more of that with her work. It's still a bit the fluidity isn't there yet, and that obviously comes with just more and more matches under your belt. It is still like one move and then the next sequence and then the next sequence. But she's still pretty new to this. So
and Santana Garrett, she looks fine.
She was fine. Yeah. I mean, nothing.
She looks like Wonder Woman.
I mean, she was dressed as Wonder Woman. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
that would be it. Yeah, like was fine. I think the women's division in NXT is just the best in the world right now.
Definitely. And we have a next women's match right now to go after.
Absolutely, yeah.
So Dakota Kai, her spot in War Games is up to this. She's going one-on-one with the NXT Women's Champion Shayna Baszler. So the match starts. Shayna is doing her classic bullying stuff. She does her taunts like, I'm so much stronger and I could just kill you just like that. But then Dakota Kai kind of fires back and gets the best of her and then does her own kind of taunts back to her.
Yeah, I like this. She's showing like, no, you're not getting in my head. Like,
nah,
fuck you.
Nah.
I got this.
Yeah. There's a series of kicks. There's a roll up from Dakota for only a 2. Baszler takes her on the apron. She ducks the penalty kick and then throws basically like pulling Dakota into the ring post here. It looked really good. She then continues to stomp like where the injury was, the injured legs. Looks really painful, actually. The way Shayna always beats up limbs.
I would say I think Baszler and Dunne are the best at just... It just looks like they're hurting them.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how you're not.
Yeah, it looks so real.
She's just stomping away at the knee and the ankle. It just looks legit, and I think that's where Shayna is so good.
I will say that's definitely one of the best things.
But I've never been aware of her hurting anyone.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think she's fantastic.
Well, she keeps doing that. We go to commercial, but it's not the picture-in-picture. No Enya for me. They come back. There's a boot off like the apron from Dakota Kai. She's fighting back. She hits her like pop-up double knees, but it's only a 2 count. They fight up top, and Shayna hits a avalanche gut buster, only a 2 count. They're now going strike for strike. There's a headbutt by Dakota Kai. There's a roundhouse by Shayna. Then a second one. Kai fights back. She's like, no, you can't kick me. I'm the leader of Team Kick. And hits the face wash. She then runs into a knee strike, gets locked into the Karafuda clutch, escapes it. They roll around. They go counter for counter. Really cool transition.
Yeah, they tease that maybe she kind of how Kairi Sane won the championship, where she rolls backwards and gets the pin. They kind of tease that, but Shayna got out.
Shayna then rolls back into a cool spot. She flips her, gets caught in the Karafuda clutch again. And well, Dakota Kai taps out just
but Dakota's so close to the ropes as well. I think she even got her finger on it.
Yeah.
And then Shayna just wraps the leg, kicks the hand out the way. She traps it. Dakota Kai taps.
Love it.
This was a really good match.
Yeah, I love this match. This was awesome. You said just prior to this, women's wrestling is the best in NXT. It really is.
Well, apart from the opening like promo, the first hour of the show was women's wrestling.
Well, no, we had Pete Dunne and
no, you're right. You're right. They both got long hair.
Yeah, but two
women's matches taking up the bulk of the first half of the show. Well, I really love this. There was a great line from Morrow where he says, there are 206 bones in the human body, and Shayna knows how to hurt each and every one of them. Great line.
Bone shivers.
I love this match.
Yeah, this was really great. This shows Shayna is getting really comfortable in this role. She's taken over for so long now, but she's like really owning it and becoming it, and still evolving kind of thing. It's really cool. And Dakota Kai, it's awesome. She's back from the injury and still putting on really good matches. This was just because you lose, like it's good. And there's more interesting things here to come in this angle, but really good payoff match here from the two of them. Yeah. And I'm sure we'll see them lock up eventually down the line in some capacity, because it's just good to go back to this story. But this is not where this ends, because after the match, it's a fall brawl. It's chaos here. All the women in the War Games match run down. It's crazy. There's Io Shirai beating up Candice LeRae. There's everyone fighting in the War Games. Rhea Ripley's there. And then Mia Yim runs down with a kendo stick, swinging away. Swing away.
How do you get a female babyface over?
Kendo stick.
You give him a kendo stick.
We've seen this before.
How many times have we seen this?
Yeah.
Like Candice, Becky, Charlotte, like now Mia.
Io.
It's not the passing of the torch anymore. It's the passing of the kendo stick.
And we still never got one for our party last August.
Oh,
kendo stick. Yeah. Remember I said anyone who brings a kendo stick can hit me with it.
Anyone in the Tampa area?
Shh, you can't say that yet. We haven't announced that.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's a kendo shots everywhere from Mia Yim. She's swinging away and she saves the day here. And Rhea Ripley's like, interesting. Okay. All right.
I gotta say, what does this say about Marina Shafir and Jessamine Ju? These are two women that used to do cage fighting.
Right.
Essentially.
Yes.
They used to fight in cages.
Right.
We're going to an event where you're going to fight in a cage.
Whoa.
Your best friend needs people on their team.
In the cage.
In these cages.
For the match.
She's like, nah, Bianca Belair and Io Shirai, who I used to feud with a bunch. No.
And you two.
Sorry, girls.
I need you on the outside.
No, you're just cheer me on. I need you cheering, girls.
She's like, I need
you're way more important on the outside. I can't risk you. It's like,
wow.
Reading between the lines says something else.
Wow, I never thought of it like
you
that.
Never thought about it.
You really showed me how funny that is. Wait, War Games is in cages, and we all used to fight in cages. No. You're my girls. You're gonna be on the outside.
I'm the power lifter instead.
So, we'll get to what happens and what this alludes to down the line. But the brawl is settled for Mia Yim with the kendo stick. So we then see that there is a second War Games match announced.
This was like just a real throwaway. I mean, Ciampa last week said we're going to war.
Yeah.
So people were kind of thinking, oh, will it be? But also,
is it? Really?
It could have just been me and Adam Cole going to war for the title.
Is it really a War Games if William Regal doesn't say War Games?
Exactly. I'm waiting for it.
I think I'm gonna add that into my vocabulary. Like say there's only like one piece of chicken left, and we both go to grab it, and I go War Games. That's what you need to do to settle it all. So
you need to stand like on a podium or something.
Yeah.
Look down.
War Games. So there is a War Games. It's Tomasso Ciampa with Matt Riddle and Keith Lee.
Yes.
And another partner versus Undisputed Era. We'll get to this again later on. Up next is a number one contenders match for the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. And up here we have Tony Nese, a former Cruiserweight champion. He won it at WrestleMania, actually. Going up against NXT kind of regular here. We've seen a lot of him. Angel Garza, the guy who likes to take his pants off.
Yeah, well, we've seen this guy pretty much. I just thought this first week with no Cameron Grimes.
This is the first week with no Cameron Grimes. That's facts. That's interesting. Wow. I miss him.
I miss him too.
Yeah.
And the little hat.
Little Babadook. So Angel Garza, Tony Nese, winner gets a shot at the Cruiserweight title. They lock up. Garza goes for like quick, really cool submissions early on. Really awesome. Tony Nese is like, none of that. Me and my 8 abs are going to lift you up by the waist and just throw you because I'm a monster. Tony Nese just doesn't. We had some potatoes with that chicken tonight. Tony Nese does not eat potatoes.
No.
Definitely not. So there's a crazy like drop up and down and a head scissors from Angel Garza. And then he's like really on fire. And then he does this classic, like when you think he's about to hit you, he goes, stop. And he's about to take off the pants. But Tony Nese ain't not want none of that. Starts beating up on him, doesn't let him take off the pants. I mean,
would you, if you were fighting someone and then they tried to take their clothes off mid-fight?
No, I would not.
You wouldn't wait, would you? You'd just kick the shit out of them.
What the fuck? No.
Put your pants on.
Put pants on.
You weirdo.
Yeah, I find it weird that I have to ask twice. More than once or whatever that line is. So he's like, I'm not going to let you take your pants off. Then they do like a slugfest and Angel Garza's like, yeah, you want to hit me? Hit me. So Tony Nese hits him. It's a slap. They go up top and Tony Nese goes for a sunset flip powerbomb off the top turnbuckle, but Angel Garza holds on, but Tony Nese goes through with the move and sunset flip powerbombs Angel Garza's pants right off him.
Really fun spot.
This is amazing.
This was really funny.
I jumped out of my seat and shouted and went, "Oh my God, the pants! He powerbombed the pants!" Oh my God. He's like, "Oh, what did I just do?" Turns around, Garza's still up top, jumps off, hits a drop kick from the top, hitting him. They go to a commercial. We come back. Garza hits a wrecking ball drop kick, then a beautiful moonsault to the outside. He is an angel.
Yeah.
He flies like an angel. There's a butterfly backbreaker from Garza for 2. Nese fights back, hits a huge Michinoku driver kind of move. I love that move.
I love that move.
One of the best moves ever. Garza then goes for like this other like lung blower type move, hits that. He goes for a dive, then Nese cartwheels, then hits like this tornado DDT to the outside.
Spikes him on the outside.
So he cartwheels off the apron to his feet, then hits a tornado DDT on Garza on the outside. Just crazy. Rolls Garza back in, goes up top. Tony Nese hits the 450 splash, and I bit because Angel Garza's foot is on the bottom rope, and the ref stops and goes, no. His foot
and he seemed to do it in a very Angel Garza way as well. Yeah. It was just so cool. It was like the last split second and just boom, foot on the rope.
This guy keeps going in my list of
I like him.
Keep watching this guy.
I'm a fan.
Yeah. So we both are like, oh my God, we bit. So it's a 2 count. The match continues. There's a double slapping fest where they're literally slapping each other.
The shit out of
it.
These
loud
are loud.
Slaps. Yeah, very loud slaps.
It was bonfire night yesterday in the UK. Firework night, and these sounded like fireworks going on.
They were. It was loud. They were. I think Nigel was like, "That sounds like a whip, like they're whipping each other." But it's in the face, in the chest. It's crazy. And then there's a rope assisted O'Connor roll type switch into a power bomb. Only a 2 count. There's a
It was like. Was it like a handspring off the rope?
Yeah.
It was a really interesting transition into this power bomb.
Garza goes for his crazy moonsault, and I said out loud, every time he goes for this move, it gets countered. And look at this. It gets countered by Tony Nese, but even Angel Garza knows that his moonsault gets countered a lot and knows the counter was coming. Locks in this move they call the wings clipper, which is like you have him locked in a butterfly, you wrap his legs, and then you jump and you sit down. I guess it would really hurt your like neck
spine,
and your back and everything. And then he pins Tony Nese. And Angel Garza is the #1 contender for the Cruiserweight title. This was an awesome match. I will say, like, even though they both hit crazy-looking moves, high-flying moves, technical moves, my favorite spot was the sunset flip to the pants.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'm sure that's going to be gifted a lot.
Yeah, it already was. I love this match. What did you think? It was pretty
I thought this was a lot of fun. I think this is the right setting for the Cruiserweights. I think...
Yeah. 205 now on Friday nights, but they're gonna air it. I think.
It's just this week because they're going to the UK.
Okay,
I believe. I think that's why. So they're testing 205 out. Whether it's a test or not.
Sure.
But perhaps just me speculating.
Yeah.
Starting to move NXT, start touring NXT maybe.
Oh.
And you've got that commitment with Full Sail, so maybe move 205 to Full Sail.
That could be it.
Because you're going to have a crowd who wants to see wrestling every week there. Yeah. So, and they'll give 205 the respect it deserves.
Definitely would.
Because all the 205 matches are great. Like, there's never really a dud. It's just, it's so hard to watch, like with crickets.
Yeah. And
that's been the case from day one, but Full Sail will give them the respect. And I thought this match was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was. It was great. So after the match, Garza walks up the ramp. He's celebrating. And Lio Rush's music, the Cruiserweight champion himself, comes out here. He offers his hand to shake Angel Garza's hand. Angel Garza goes to shake it, but instead slaps Lio Rush across the face. A big slap, too.
Yeah.
And then laughs and walks off. And Lio Rush, instead of attacking him, just holds his face and laughs himself. He goes,
he's like, all right, okay.
Like, all right, I'll see you. I see you, fam. What did the 5 fingers say to the face? That's what happened here. So next week, it is Lio Rush versus Angel Garza for the Cruiserweight Championship.
Nice.
I'm pumped. Backstage, Rhea Ripley is there being interviewed, and behind her is her whole gang. It's the gals. They're here. She says that I have picked my 4th member. It's clear. It is Mia Yim. And Mia Yim says, yeah, we coming. You see, at War Games, we collecting bodies.
She's the CBIC, the
HBIC,
CIBC.
She's the CIBC.
Collecting them debts.
She is the HBIC. And then Rhea Ripley. So behind is Tegan Nox, Candice LeRae, and now Mia Yim and Rhea Ripley. And Dakota Kai is like beaten up, and Tegan Nox is like holding her. And Rhea Ripley turns around and goes, "Hey, Dakota. Oh, we got an Amber Alert.
Oh, Amber Alert.
Oh, man. Amber Alert interrupting our podcast here.
Keep your eyes open, guys.
I would say I'm against it, but it's actually to help little kids. So even if it's interrupting a podcast, I still support it. Follow your Amber Alerts. Mine didn't go off, though. iPhone users. So she goes, "Look, sorry, Dakota Kai. You just didn't make the cut."
I like Rhea Ripley's bluntness because she's been a heel most of the time, but and she's still kind of the same person, but she's like, so it's not good enough. Sorry, mate.
So Dakota Kai's like, just like walks off.
Yeah, now
it's like the sad Michael Cera Arrested Development walking away.
I mean, this classically and typically would be setting up for a Dakota Kai heel turn.
Right.
There's a space available on Team Shayna. However, I like having Dakota Kai and Tegan Nox as a tag team.
Yeah.
And I think if they really want to build this women's tag division, you need consistent tag teams, not just throwing people together
Their team kick.
On a whim. Their team kick. So personally, I don't want to see that happen.
Sure.
But I'm kind of expecting Dakota or Mia Yim to be mysteriously taken out next week or something like that.
Whoa, interesting. I was thinking that Shayna Baszler goes, "Hey, you can join my team now." And she joins them, but I don't know if that would happen. I have a prediction that maybe Dakota Kai does join the team because the horsewomen do join the cage. I don't know. There's multiple ways you can go.
I feel maybe they just don't feel comfortable having
I guess
the horses in the cage.
The horses in the stable.
Because it's
the horsewomen in the
because they're so green.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of their in-ring work.
I'm not. But who would you say? Say it's not Dakota, it's not the horsewomen. Who would fill up Team Shayna?
Dakota Kai. Asuka.
I mean, would it be a main roster?
I don't know. Ronda Rousey.
Ember Moon.
Now we're just going left.
Who's left? Is there anyone else? Taynara. Sure, she got that win today.
Yeah, sure. Do it. So that is what's happening with Rhea Ripley's team. Mia Yim, Candice LeRae, and Tegan Nox. And it should be a fun match.
I think it'll be good
in the women's War Games. So up next, we have another match. It is Isaiah Swerve Scott going one-on-one against Dominic Dijakovic. Now, he's someone who's not in a War Games match yet. He's not announced yet, but I feel like he might be slotted in somewhere. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe not. They start the match. Dijak obviously uses his strength and height advantage against Swerve because he's a lot bigger than him. He does this move where he has him like in a power slam, body slam pose, hits him with the backbreakers, and then
it's what Titus O'Neil did, but way better.
Yeah,
this looks like he's really kneeing you in the ribs.
He's just like throwing you around. It's really cool. He hits like this second rope jumping, turning around splash. Swerve fights back, hits a flying elbow to the back. There's a huge release German suplex by Swerve on Dijakovic, which he's a smaller guy hitting the bigger German suplex on him. Looked really awesome. Then there's this crazy 360 spin out tornado DDT kind of in the corner there. Looked awesome. Looked like he actually spiked Dijak there. Looked crazy. Dijak fights back, tries to get Swerve up on his shoulders, gets him in the torture rack, which means he's going for the feast your eyes.
And he did it the way he got Keith Lee in the match they won in match 2, was it?
Yeah.
Getting it off the turnbuckle, which they brought attention to.
So Swerve actually counters the feast your eyes with a roll up, only a 2 count, gets to his feet, hits a jump up enziguri, but Dijakovic says nuh-uh, hits a giant cyclone boot, just killing this guy.
This looks insane.
Yeah, just knocking him out. Then hits the sit out choke bomb for a 2 count. Then he picks up the body of Swerve, and Swerve starts laughing. So Dijak starts laughing and goes, "You think this is funny? You think I'm What am I, a clown? Do I amuse you? And he says, you think that's funny? And he goes for like some sort of
choke slam,
or something. And Swerve counters that into a poison Rana, spiking Dijakovic. Just insane. Looked crazy. They go there's a double stomp kind of thing. He gets Dijak on the apron, lying down on the apron, and then up top goes for like this double stomp. It looked like one of the boots went to his chest, and one of them went to the face of Dijakovic there. Just crazy. They go back in the ring. There's crazy clotheslines, crazy counters. There's clotheslines turning each other inside out. There's a roll through where he goes for to roll like a rolling thunder, and you pop up and hit a move. He goes for that, gets caught up on the shoulders into the torture rack, flips him up, hits the knee lift to feast your eyes, and Dijakovic pins Isaiah Swerve Scott. This was a lot of fun too.
This was another great match.
Yeah.
I think the matchup here was really good. I mean, Dijak is huge. Like, he just looks so big in that ring. And against the speed of Swerve, I just thought it went together really well. I loved towards the end of the match, Dijakovic kept going for these strikes, and Swerve would sweep them away with his feet and then kick him.
Yeah, he's really slick with his
He's really slick. But I think the right person won. I'm very high up on Dijakovic. He should be a champion.
He should be a big star in wrestling. I think
he's
got he looks big. He'll definitely tone down his style eventually. He'll have to, but even still, he's good.
Vince must be.
Yeah, has Vince just not seen this guy yet? Has no one shown him to Vince McMahon yet?
A big foreign heel, who's tall and muscly and handsome and can fucking wrestle.
Yeah, so weird.
This is Vince's wet dream, right?
Yeah, it's strange. I don't know how he's not been stolen.
Yeah.
Out of all the guys, he used to just steal people. How has this guy not been stolen? Crazy. We have a vignette when we come back on USA here, and it's the Forgotten Sons. And they say, we've been casted out. You won't forget us. And I'm like, holy shit, I actually forgot you. But actually, you know what? They had a good year. I'm not trying to diss the Forgotten Sons.
I think that their ring works fine.
Yeah.
But guys, you missed a trick. Where were you on Friday and Monday?
Yeah,
you're being forgotten.
You
could have got some exposure there, guys.
You were forgotten. Well, they weren't flown out. Okay.
They just top 20.
Forgotten. We weren't even flown out. We were forgotten. That's what they should have said here. They say that they are the savages of NXT, and we won't be forgotten. They really like saying the word forgotten.
Yeah,
they love it.
It's their name.
They love it. Okay, so next week they remind us the Cruiserweight title match, Garza versus Lio Rush. But they also announce a new match next week. And we were just saying that women's wrestling is number one here in NXT. It's the best women's wrestling on the planet, NXT. And we already said that. But then they throw this at us. And we're like, okay, we are right. And oh my God. Next week, Io Shirai versus Mia Yim in a ladder match for War Games Advantage.
We were like, I'm sorry, what?
What did you just say? Io Shirai, Mia Yim in a ladder match next week on NXT. Women's wrestling is just on fire, and this is the place to watch it. I can't wait to see this.
Now, if you have ever seen a War Games match, ever, I can tell you Io Shirai is winning next week. Because the heels always have to have the advantage in War Games.
Well, you know what you have to do in a ladder match? You have to climb it. You know what that means? You have to get high. Shirai gets high. All right. Next week. I can't wait. Next week's going to be a good episode.
Yeah.
Let's go to our main event of the evening. The OC. No, not the one with that show.
California.
I've never watched it.
Me neither.
But, pour a little out. So the OC, the original club, AJ Styles, Luke Gallows, and Carl Anderson, they're going to have a 6-man tag against the team of Matt Riddle, Keith Lee, and Tomasso Ciampa. This match starts off, and I said there was a fall brawl earlier, but this is a brawl as well. All 6 guys are just going at it. And then finally it clears, and there's Ciampa and AJ, and they start the match off. This is pretty awesome. We've not seen this before.
And we were talking about earlier, Brock and Randy being motivated.
Yeah.
AJ's always fantastic, but he looked so up for this
tonight. Okay, so this is his debut here in NXT, and he he skipped NXT when he came to WWE, which of course he's a star. Didn't necessarily need NXT, right?
He had those velocity matches back in the day.
Exactly. So I just feel like this is cool for him. This is AJ with the cuffs off.
Yeah.
You know, he's like, I'm just gonna go have some fun.
He's like, Matt Riddle, I see ya.
Yeah.
Just lights up his chest right away.
I couldn't wait to see AJ and Matt Riddle go here. But we have Ciampa and AJ going off here, and it's awesome. There's a transition where AJ hits his classic, amazing drop kick. Looks awesome. Then he tags in Luke Gallows, who then Ciampa tags in Keith Lee, and they're going at it. Then there's Lee going at it with Anderson, which is cool. Anderson hits a spine buster on Ciampa. There's a pop-up knee from Ciampa on Carl. They're going back and forth. Riddle gets in. He's on fire. This match is like quick, and it's hard to write what is all going down here because they just keep fighting each other. But Riddle is there, and he's lighting up Carl and AJ. He's like going off on both of them. He's chopping the shit out of them. He's hitting sentons on both guys, just beating both of them up. Hits a crazy deadlift German suplex, releasing on Carl Anderson. Then hits the flash knee to AJ, hits the bro to sleep on AJ, then hits a bridging German suplex on AJ Styles from Matt Riddle, and Gallows breaks it up at 2. Then Gallows hits a roundhouse kick to Keith Lee. They're going for the magic killer on Ciampa, on Keith Lee, but Ciampa breaks it up. Lee hits a body slam on Gallows. There's body slams. There's a running tornado DDT by AJ on Keith Lee. Morrow says that AJ planted Keith Lee like a palm tree in the Sunshine State. And you laughed a lot.
Yeah, I wrote that one down as well.
AJ counters a German and hits like a brain buster on Matt Riddle, but it's only a 2 count. Lee is in, hits a pounce on AJ, but sends AJ flying into the referee. Drake goes flying. This was a great spot. Drake is the best ref. It's because he worked for so long as a wrestler. He
used to do death matches.
Yeah,
all the time.
like, yo, this spot looked good.
I'm taking a bump. He went flying.
Keith Lee pounces AJ, sends AJ flying into him. Looked great. Now Lee gets dumped to the outside. Riddle then goes for like the Fosbury flop, but kind of botches it. Actually, kind of lands on his back on the apron.
Head on the apron.
I would say the camera kind of cut away from it quick, but the wrestlers did save it. They're professionals here. Like, they're all really good dudes. So I hope Riddle's back is okay because it looked like it hurt, but he kind of fucked that move up. Maybe don't do that one. Just maybe don't do that one again. He can have crazy dives. Just don't do the one where you gotta clear the ring because he's not small, Matt Riddle.
No.
So I hope he's okay because it kind of looked like it hurt. So he didn't get all of that, as the commentators would say. Ciampa is in there. He's with AJ Styles, and they're going back and forth. He hits a knee on AJ, and he looks like he's going for the fairy tale ending of sorts, and someone's music hits, and it's Finn Balor. He's just looking on the ramp. The distraction finish, which allows AJ to hit the Pele kick on Ciampa on the outside. Balor picks up Riddle, who's hurting from that back to the apron, hits the 1916, the lift up brain buster on the ramp on Riddle. Then Adam Cole runs in the ring and attacks AJ Styles.
Well, whilst he was doing the Styles Clash.
While the Styles Clash is about to happen, he attacks AJ Styles, hits him with a super kick while he's lifting Ciampa. Yeah. Then hits the last shot to Ciampa. So everyone's like, what the fuck is going on? Standing in the ring, looking down at the ramp to Finn Balor. They're both looking at each other and they're smiling at each other. And Adam Cole is kind of like, yeah, you want to be the guy who comes in here trolling around, fucking shit up? Well, guess what? That's what I'm doing too. And these two are both Bullet Club like leaders. We're side members turned leaders kind of thing here in both of these guys. And it's and AJ Styles is laying there taken out. What an interesting angle. We're not sure. What does it all mean? What does this mean? Adam Cole, Finn Balor, a standoff where they're not attacking each other because they got some sort of form of like a code of respect, or maybe they have an alliance, maybe they have an agreement with each other here in NXT. But what does it all mean, Basil?
I think it's more they just don't have beef with each other.
Right.
So you had this really reminded me of like Attitude Era,
yes,
where you had all these factions, and this faction's feuding with this faction, but this faction's kind of cool with this one, but then they're feuding with them, so I'm not cool with them.
Gang warfare.
So obviously And this is where NXT just brought everything together here, because you've got Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown. Main roster are against NXT. So you've got the OC from Raw. You've got like Riddle, Ciampa, Lee from NXT.
That other team there, like the NXT guys.
And then you've got Finn Balor, who started the Bullet Club with the OC, with Gallows and Anderson.
It's crazy. And it's all intertwined.
AJ here. Took over his role.
Right.
So they're throwing up the Too Sweet and the finger guns. And then Adam Cole, who's ex-Bullet Club and got Undisputed.
His own group.
Exactly.
Now.
This was awesome.
I think this is what people are going to go nuts for this week. They're going to say, wow, look at this angle. And it's not rushing it either. It's still letting us wonder what the hell's going on.
And it's acknowledging everything. Yeah. It's not like when we had DIY go up to the main roster earlier in the year.
Yeah.
And you're going, wait, they're just about to, I mean, it didn't happen because of Ciampa's injury. But you're going, they're just about to have this massive blow-off singles match and they're teaming on Raw. What? It's joining everything together. We acknowledge every storyline going really on.
I think people will be really hot for this. It makes you want to watch next week again.
And it hyped you for both War Games and Survivor Series. I thought this was awesome. Great way to end the show. What a fantastic show. When
this show hits on all the this show just goes hard.
The weakest show of the night, the weakest match of the night was probably Taynara Santana Garrett, and that wasn't bad at all.
Right.
Really, really good show. So interested going forward. I feel WWE's had the shot in the arm that it needed.
Sometimes.
With this whole Survivor Series thing.
I think my match of the night was Tony Nese and Garza. I really liked that.
Oh, really? Yeah. Okay. I really liked the main. I really loved how it was this brawling style, but a brawling style with all these people who are fantastic, crisp wrestlers. So it was
it was crazy seeing
a real
AJ here.
Fast pace.
So cool seeing AJ.
AJ Ciampa, AJ Riddle, all teamed up. But I really enjoyed Dijakovic and Swerve as well. I put a poll out on Twitter.
Okay.
And I chose, as the four matches, Dunne versus Priest, Dakota versus Shayna, Dijakovic versus Swerve, and the OC versus Riddle, Lee, and Ciampa. In joint third place was Dunne and Priest and Dijakovic and Swerve with only 4% of the votes. Then we had Dakota versus Shayna with 12%. And the clear match of the night was the OC versus NXT.
No, it was awesome to watch. I need to see AJ Riddle one-on-one really soon. That's a match I need to see again. I need to see them fight up again, I mean. So that was NXT. That was awesome. I enjoy NXT. It's my favorite wrestling show to watch, or we wouldn't be doing this show. Really. So I love it. I thought it delivers. This is what I like in my wrestling. I like wrestling for the actual matches. I love really good match quality, and I like storytelling. And NXT does the storytelling where they don't kind of insult you.
Yeah,
which I like, because they know that maybe the people watching the show are kind of people our age. We're not necessarily little kids who need to be kind of directed and told what to do and stuff. This is just like storytelling, kind of simple to the
and they let things play out for a while.
Yeah,
like they never hot shot anything.
Right.
Shall I kick off feedback?
Yes, go for some feedback. So forum.postwrestling.com is the post wrestling feedback forum page there, and every Wednesday we post up, and you can write in, ask questions, and we'll read them right here on the show.
So we go to Eva from London. Yes, the Shayna Superfan, with the third edition of Random Baszler Fact Nobody Asked For. When she did MMA, Mauro Ranallo is actually the one who gave her the Submission Magician nickname.
Whoa, actually, in commentary in our match tonight, he mentioned he's called lots of her matches, MMA fights before.
Right. Things have been a great week in the Queen's Army. Beating up Bayley and Sasha Friday, verbally smacking down Becky Lynch on Monday, and picking Io and Bianca to her War Games team today. Prediction: Dakota will be Shayna's final pick, likely next week. Show was great as usual, but I figured I would give the floor to the rest of the postmarks to discuss the non-Shayna aspecta. Questions. Number one, with all NXT champions in War Game matches, what will the other three takeover matches be?
I can tell you it will be Finn Balor, Johnny Gargano.
And I like that they've kept Gargano off since that. They're really selling that angle. And he's one of your main stars. Yeah. And they're not afraid to rest him for a few weeks.
They'll add that. I'm sure they will add a cruiserweight title match maybe, or Dane Dunne
in a 3. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Asks who is winning, Becky, Bayley, or Baszler? I'm gonna say Baszler taps out Bayley.
Whoa, yeah, I think Bayley should lose in that match.
Becky's not losing, because Baszler Becky is something you can do down the line. I think Bayley's the disposable one there. And what was the wine this Wrestling Wednesday? We both have taken a little break from the alcohol tonight.
Tonight, yeah. Well, I did some. What did I do? Bubba King Kush, I think.
Okay.
That's not wine, but Weed Wednesdays. Yeah. Is that all they had to say?
That's it from Eva.
Awesome. Thank you. Paul from New Jersey. Dakota Kai would get you high, but she's off for a cry.
Hey.
This episode had good stuff on it, but I thought they really cooled off the brand supremacy bit in a matter of 5 days. Sure, soccer mom styles and the cool dad showed up, but it felt so formulaic already. Nobody jumped the barricade from Raw or SmackDown looking for revenge of their dastardly attackers. Shame. Taynara winning was cool, though. P.S. Officially a Patreon. Love the Scream review and the Heath Slater fan for life. Oh, thank you very much, Paul. We appreciate that. Yeah, we did a review of Scream on our Patreon on Halloween, which was a lot of fun because we both are huge fans of that movie.
Yeah.
And that was a lot of fun. But we also do What's Next, where we go back and watch old NXT. And it's interesting because the Raw thing with Seth and Adam Cole and Triple H saying, Seth, you're the NXT first champion. If you are a Patreon subscriber and listening to us do Was Next, where we go back and watch NXT, we're going to be getting to that point because Seth Rollins has debuted now with his haircut.
Yeah,
blonde haircut. We've been watching all of this, so we're going to get there. So watching Triple H say that to Seth about NXT was really cool.
Oh, absolutely.
We've been watching the old NXT.
I would say with his point of cooling off the invasion thing, I don't think so. Remember, NXT has to build to their own pay-per-view as well.
Yeah.
There's only so much time. You can't have the whole show doing that because whereas Raw and SmackDown, you've got 5 hours of TV there to build for Survivor Series. NXT just has 2 for War Games.
Sure.
You don't need to do overkill with it. Also, I think a lot of the roster are either resting or going to Europe now. So you couldn't have too many guys on it.
So thank you, Paul, for joining our Patreon. We love you. Thank you.
Okay, we go to mystery. Okay, episode of NXT tonight. Angel Garza continues to rule, and it is now canon that he can't reach full strength if his pants don't come off.
It's like Angle taking the straps down.
Yeah. Rhea Ripley is a massive goddamn dickhead, and also insanely stupid for several reasons. First off, picking noted super loser Mia Yim. It doesn't help she hasn't won a match in quite some time, kayfabe-wise, either. And also for being a jerk to Dakota. Rhea seems to think power solves everything, which will be her downfall. Going to make a bold prediction for next week's NXT. Io is going to win the ladder match when Dakota comes out and screws over Mia Yim and Team Ripley. And then she'll get added to Team Baszler. It was noteworthy that Tegan didn't even try to comfort Dakota after that announcement. Wow. And they uploaded a post-show segment where the interviewer tried to ask Dakota about it, and she was pissed off at everyone on Team Rhea.
Uh-oh. Dakota Kai going to cost Mia Yim the ladder match next week and joining the team. You called it right there. We go to Bring. This show really made me wish the OC were treated like big deal on the main roster. Their takeover tonight felt underwhelming.
I'm sorry, did you not see Crown Jewel? They're the best tag team in the world.
Did either of you watch the NXT takeover on SmackDown or Raw? I thought SmackDown was done well, but it kind of got dull. I really wish they had put someone other than Cole in the Raw main event, or at least let him talk instead of Hunter all the time. Yeah, the Raw one didn't really hit as much for me.
I agree with you there about the talking. I think having Hunter to start with is cool, but yeah, we should hear some of these guys speak. Adam Cole is a fantastic promo, and he's your NXT champion.
Boys and girls.
He shouldn't have to let Triple H do all the talking. We go to Chris from Pennsylvania. Good show tonight, but I wanted to focus on how great that closing angle was. The last couple of years, the lead into Survivor Series has been weak. Existing feuds were ignored, and people came together for no other reason than brand supremacy. I loved how fluid everything was in those final minutes. Finn's an NXT guy now, but he comes out and helps his old Bullet Club buddies, even though they represent Raw. Adam Cole comes out for his revenge on Styles, but also attacks Ciampa because they are currently feuding, even though they are both NXT guys. I enjoy the attention to detail, and it makes me legitimately interested in finding out what is going to happen next.
Yeah, exactly. It makes you go, what's going on? What's happening? It definitely makes me want to watch next week. They've been doing a fantastic job with the Finn Balor stuff here. We go to See No Evil. I mean, he means See No Evolve. Ooh, I like it. I like the name brand there. Wow, what a show. Love the presence of the OC, as it makes perfect sense for them not having any emotional attachments to NXT because they've never been there.
Absolutely.
They say, what the hell? He says, what the hell came out of Bobby Fish's mouth during the beatdown?
He was eating a hot dog or something, I think.
The ending was a mindfuck. First, Finn teases an alliance with Styles, but then him and Cole smile at each other. 2 Bullet Club members fighting over another former member. Why don't they all just join together? Glad to see Santana and Taynara. Did you notice Robert Stone, formerly known as Robbie E, in the front row scouting? No, I didn't. Robbie E is doing this new like manager gimmick with the tag team on the house shows here in NXT.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know his name there. Robert Stone. So he was scouting during this match, apparently. We'll see what happens there. He says, I think Dakota definitely becomes Shayna's final member. He says, will you guys be watching 205 Live from Full Sail as it should be NXT heavy? NXT is taking over everything, including Evolve, with all the new announced people they have there. He says they must be really selling Gargano's injury because he was actually pulled from the Evolve meet and greets.
Yeah, I saw that today.
Wow, that's
he put out
things.
A tweet.
That's real. That's like when Sandman and ECW just stayed home for so long to sell it.
I always love Dusty when he had his arm broken.
Yeah.
Would go around the house in a cast because he wanted to keep kayfabe for his kids.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's brilliant.
Dusty's the best.
Was it his arm or his leg? It was his arm, right?
It
was either an arm in a cast or he had like crutches and his leg in plaster.
I broke Dusty's leg.
So we go to Sango from Malaysia.
Hello.
It was great to see Dakota Kai getting in the face of Shayna Baszler tonight. It wasn't that long ago when she was scared to death just hearing Shayna's name. Wonder how Tegan is going to handle her BFF not making the cut for Rhea's team. Love the cruiserweight match. The pants powerbomb spot was a thing of beauty. Angel Garza is a stud, and I can't wait to see how he and Lio Rush will build on their rivalry. Nice, on the other hand, needs an intervention. His abs gimmick doesn't work when you had Finn Balor showing off more chiseled ones to a larger audience. Main event was super fun, even though it led to a non-finish. I love the screen time Keith and Riddle have been getting together. 2 larger-than-life characters who can't help but hype up the crowd with their talent. Still don't see Balor linking up with the UE or the OC just yet. Side note, shame this ep didn't mention NXT's own Mansoor over main roster Cesaro.
Oh, yeah.
That's true.
Your boy Mansoor.
He won. Yeah, he beat Cesaro. Cesaro. Good night, sleep tight, and don't let the bruiserweight break your fingers.
Break your fingers. Pete Dunne's the boogeyman now.
Yeah.
Let's go to our last one here. Wrestling Graham. He goes, hey guys, just wanted to let y'all know that The Rock just bought a house 5 minutes away from me. No big deal.
God damn.
He says, prayers up for Bobby Fish's exploding face. What's in Bobby's mouth? Bobby's like a dog. Like, what's in your fucking mouth? Oh my God. He says, I'm happy anytime Taynara is on our screen. Me too, brother. Me too. Serious question. If Poppy can play out Io Shirai, then can we get Hot Girl Megan to play out Matt Riddle, Stallion Battalion?
Google's Hot Girl Megan.
No, it's Hot Megan the Stallion.
I don't know.
Hot Girl Summer? Hot Bro Summer. As long as it's not Lizzo. Up next is a Lizzo free zone.
Yes.
I'm going to get heat, but I'm telling you, it's Lizzo free zone here on Up Next. That's all the feedback here. We post up, like we said. So that's NXT. That's what we watched tonight. So if you do want to continue to listen to us every Thursday on our Patreon, we do an NXT and AEW kind of comparison. The Wednesday Night Wars, we'll be reviewing AEW, the go-home show for Full Gear this weekend. So go to our Patreon, patreon.com/upnext. This week, like we said, we have so many crazy shows. So if you like this show, you can listen to all the other shows we've recorded, because once you sign up, you get access to all of them. So we have so much stuff that came out during October, spooky season. We did horror movies, all that kind of stuff. This week we have The Terminator, and we have Best Match Ever, Misawa versus Kobashi, which is going to be crazy. We got some feedback for that. People are excited for us to talk about that, because some say it is the best match ever.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'm actually going to be away next Thursday. I'll still be here for Up Next, but it means we'll be recording our Patreon shows a little earlier. So I'd just like to announce that we'll be looking at the NXT July 25th, 2013 episode for What's Next. So make sure you check that out. And we'll have another episode of Up Yours, where we'll be looking at the first 2 episodes of Wu-Tang and American Saga.
That's from See No Evil.
That's from John See No Evil. He's picked that.
He's our world champs tier.
And let's just do a few thank yous to finish the show.
Yes.
We couldn't be doing this show without you guys, with our beautiful patrons. I'd like to say thank you to Adam, aka Puffy, Adam Ali, Adam Newbold, Albert G, Alfred, played by Andy Serkis, I guess, Andre, and Andrew Cook.
Well, we're doing the A's here. Andrew Hickey, thank you for being a supporter as well. Andrew McDonald, thank you too. And another Andrew Statsky. And we have Anthony Makasib. I think I messed your name up. April Smith. We have Ari from Montreal, I'm assuming. And Aiden McNamara. McNamara, man.
Every time.
It's late. Thank you to all our Patreon supporters. You guys mean the world to us. You help us continue to create content that we love doing. So listen to us talk about NXT every Wednesday on iTunes, Stitcher, wherever you go. Follow us. Hit the 5-star review. Put a review in wherever. If you use iTunes Podcasts or Apple Podcasts or wherever, and you can write a review because you subscribe to us. Write us a nice little review. We would love some. And if you want to listen to all our shows, again, the patreon.com is where you can find all that stuff. We have so much shows coming out, and it's been awesome. It's been a wild ride. And with this NXT invasion, we have some cool stuff for Survivor Series coming up, including a show with post legends.
Yeah.
Postmates, the Postmates, the Postmarks.
The brands are going to come together for one night only.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe two.
If
we can convince them.
Yeah, we'll do so.
We're just going to invade.
Yeah.
We're just going to invade. John Pollock and Wei Ting will be doing a Survivor Series show down the line. We'll definitely discuss this in further weeks to come. But we're super excited. We have so much shows coming out. So thank you to all our Patreon supporters. Thank you to anyone who's like, hey, I just like listening to this show. Well, hey, thank you too for listening and support us. Go follow the upNXT Twitter account. It is at upNXT Podcast. You can follow myself, Braden Herrington, on Instagram and Twitter. My personal accounts, it is at the Bray D.
And you can follow me at Davie Portman.
So thank you very much. We will be back next week for upNXT, covering some NXT. Who will show up? It's brand supremacy. It's crazy. It's chaos. So throw them up. Rest in peace, Oni Lorcan's Twitter account.
I know, right? What's that all about?
It'll come back.
Oh, it better. It's just an egg right now.
It'll come back. I mean, it's Twitter. You love Twitter. Throw them up. And take care.